Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting in a Fan, and of course Sekhmet the Kitten, gracing us with her presence. And it's so interesting because it just so happens that the tarot deck that I'm using to cast the cards depicts Sekhmet on the High Priestess card. So, here we have the official video for Llewellyn's 2024 tarot calendar for August 2024. And we are focusing on, August 2024 is the entry. The focus is on the Three of Wands from the Angel Tarot. The Angel Tarot was, Angel Tarot was written by Lisa Robertson. This is a tarot deck that I don't have of hers yet. And the artist is Tiffany Toland-Scott. I have her mermaid tarot, her gorgeous, glorious mermaid tarot. And I have, I'm blanking out on the name at the moment, but I'll include it in the description box, but it was illustrated by Eugene Smith. So, this is what the Barbara Moore wrote about the Three of Wands card. The Three of Wands invites you to put your plans into action. Make your investments, put in the orders, create the things, open the shop. This is a time of focused action fueled by passion and certainty. Intuitively, I've often interpreted the Three of Wands card as multiple blessings: professional success, personal fulfillment, and spiritual evolution or spiritual transformation. And yes, witch in a city, sometimes we hear sirens. So we're going to pause. And I love how in this tarot card, the angel is making these origami boats. It's really, really cute and pretty. Living in a city. Incidentally, this entry has no blessing. I had forgotten that some of the entries don't have blessings. So, the symbol is the paper boat. The boats that traditionally appear in this card represent our plans that we put in action. Here we see a more intimate moment when we send our desires into the world. It's very interesting because it's reminding me of New Year's Eve celebrations in Brazil, honoring Imoja. Imoja is the Portuguese pronunciation of Yemayá. Yemayá, as well as Imoja, is the Afro-Caribbean goddess of the ocean's waters, the defender and the protectress of women and their children. And of course she governs everything in the ocean, from the coral to the fish to all of the other creatures, etc. And I'm remembering how and I believe it's New Year's Eve in Brazil, they will take these beautiful offerings, including paper boats, and send them out into the waters, infusing them with wishes so that Imoja will bring them to pass for the new calendar year. It's truly beautiful. And of course, white flowers and pearls and whatnot. So, there's a little blurb called, the blurb is actually the spread. So I'm going to read the spread, and then I will make sure in the comments to include, for those of you who do want to play along, it is called the Overcoming Obstacles Spread. While the Three of Wands encourages us to put our plans into action, sometimes we need help with the plan, or unforeseen issues arise and we need to solve something midstream. Logic can help, but so can a reading, especially to reveal underlying concerns that aren't readily apparent. I'm always checking the floor just in case the kittens are in the vicinity. So let me have a sip of my coffee. And the spread style is similar to the cross portion of the Celtic cross, where one card crosses another. So, card number 1 is the obstacle. the obstacle and what the obstacle means to you. Card number 2, what you see as the problem. The main problem regarding this obstacle, what is getting in your way or keeping you from understanding it. Card number 3, the underlying problem. The actual problem which may be different from what you see as the problem. Card number 4, the gift. The gift or the lesson that you can learn from facing this situation. It may be something technical or practical, or it could be something more spiritual, philosophical, or psychological. Card number 5, a solution. This is a possible solution to address the underlying problem. As some of you know, I love 5-card spreads because number 1, in many numerological systems, 5 is the number of change. Also, in the tarot, there are essentially 5 suits. We have the major arcana, and for those of you who are new to tarot, these are the more well-known cards like the Lovers, the Star, the Devil, the Sun, the Moon, the Tower. And then we have the minor arcana. Wands, also known as staves or rods. Cups, also known as chalices. Swords. And pentacles, which in some tarot decks are called coins or discs. Another sip of my coffee. And I am happily using the Tarot of Pagan Cats, which is a Lo Scarabeo deck. This is the mini version. I no longer have the box for the standard size because, it got disintegrated. So I'm going to give this one more quick shuffle. And I am casting the cards on behalf of the collective. And we shall see what happens for you regarding a pressing problem or an overwhelming situation or challenge. 1, 2, 3. Put them back together. Okay. So, card number 1, the obstacle. The obstacle and what the obstacle means to you. And that is this card. Card number 2, card number 3, card number 4. So 1 through 4 are a diamond pattern, and then card number 5 is over card number 1, and it is laid out horizontally as opposed to vertically. So on behalf of the collective, card number 1, the obstacle and what the obstacle means to you, and it is the 6 of chalices, more commonly known as the 6 of cups. So it looks like the challenge is an emotional one. It could be familial, it could be romantic or the lack thereof. It could be with a friend or somebody who's turning out to be less of a friend and more of a frenemy, or now to soon to be former friend, or an actually officially former friend. So I love the 6 of Cups. I love the 6 of Cups because it's always about the things that move our bodies and souls with love and pleasure. The things that bring an increase, an abundance of love and pleasure into our lives, complete beings and worlds. So this is the time to look at yourself and look at this situation with a whole lot more love. So let's say this. Is the amount of joy that you've experienced in this friendship or relationship? Again, relationship is not automatically exclusively romantic when I do readings. So it could be a friendship. It could be one of your favorite neighbors in your neighborhood or in your apartment building or in your gated community, whatever the case is. Or it could be a coworker that you consider to be a really nice friend, like a work spouse. I've heard of the concept of work husbands and work wives. I never had any of them. I would have been nice, but whatever. So this is the time to be really extra loving with yourself. Is this relationship continuing to serve your needs? Is it continuing to bring you joy and peace and sustain you, especially on an emotional level? Given that this card came out in the obstacle position, I'm going to say that that's probably not the case. Which leads us to card number 2, what you see as the problem. The main problem regarding this obstacle, what is getting in your way or keeping you from understanding it. And it is the Hermit card. So the Hermit card is about solitude. And it's the need for engaging in sacred solitude so that one can connect more deeply and more clearly with one's spirit guides. So maybe you need to turn off the phone for a little while, or hide in the bathroom for a little while, as a good friend of mine used to say when she worked for a particular company, and commune with your spirit guides and your guardian angels and say, hey, what do I need to see? What situation am I not seeing? What am I glossing over and pretending like it doesn't exist, even though it's like literally right at the tip of my nose? And of course, whenever I see the Hermit card, I can't help but think of journal writing. So perhaps you would benefit, or it would behoove you to spend time with your journaling, with your specific journal, if you have a spiritual journal, a magical journal, or just your regular everyday journal, and say, okay, what am I feeling about this? What do I need to see about this situation, about this particular obstacle? And then we have card number 3, the underlying problem, the actual problem which may be different from what you see as the problem. This is what I would call the pivotal card. Sekhmet, leave the lamp alone, please. Thank you very much. Sekhmet is fascinated by this lamp. So is Apollo. The lamp is soon to be out the door, and if they keep playing with it, it might be out the door sooner than later, but that's another story. So I find that when it's a 5-card spread, the third card is almost always the pivotal card. And it is the Empress. So what is the real problem? Are you treating yourself like a deity? Are you forgetting how divine you are? Are you interacting with an individual who has forgotten that you are divine? Are you being treated like a commoner? Have you unconsciously or even consciously allowed yourself to be treated like a roach, like dirt? Remind that bitch you are a goddess. Remind that bitch that you are not for play. You're not to be trifled with, and you're not going to tolerate any more bullshit. So no more, this is the church and no more bullshit. I am the queen, and this is the church and no more bullshit. And the first commandment of no more bullshit is do not put up with any other motherfucker's bullshit. So, this points to perhaps loving yourself less than you normally do, or loving yourself less lately. And unconsciously, perhaps, sending out this vibration of, yeah, you can walk all over me, it's okay, I'm just a doormat. I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm not saying you're consciously doing that, but that could be the vibration you're putting out there. Could be. I could be wrong. Card number 4, the gift. The gift or lesson that you can learn from facing this situation. It may be something technical or practical, or it could be something more spiritual, philosophical, or psychological. So let's see what card it is. It is, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew instinctively it was going to be a major arcana card. Sure enough, it is the Emperor. The Emperor card for me represents a lot of things. It is a major arcana card, so by virtue of the fact that it is a major arcana card, it represents spiritual forces at work and at play in the situation. So the Emperor card is the major arcana card that astrologically aligns with the sun sign Aries. Aries is the sign of new beginnings. It is the sign of new opportunities, of new doors opening, of new adventures. Is something that I've been saying the last few years around the time of the vernal equinox, because in the northern hemisphere, the vernal equinox is when the first day of spring occurs, and astrologically, it is the time when the sun enters Aries, sign of new beginnings. Aries is not only the first sign of the zodiac, it is the strongest, some would also say least evolved fire sign, and least evolved cardinal sign. It is right at the very beginning of the journey. So, and what I love is that here is this cat that looks like a Maine Coon cat with a crown on its head, by the way. Yellow, orange, golden. And it looks like it's on top of books. Like they look like boxes or books. And and there are four of them. The biggest one is on the bottom. The smallest one is at the top. And it forms like a pedestal for the emperor cat. So this is about remembering that you are divine, remembering that you are a force with which to be reckoned, remembering that you have within you already the energy of badass bitch. You are capable of radiating and consuming badassery, bitchery, don't fuck with me-ery. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So it's time to remember that you are a badass bitch witch, number one. And number two, it is also a reminder to refrain from being afraid of your power. Instead of fearing your power, instead of being uncomfortable around it, embrace it. Embrace it. Because I'm pretty sure that you're not going to become a dictator if you become president of the United States. You know? Or begin enacting Project 2025. Oops, did I say that out loud? Why, oops, I did. And I'm pretty sure that most of you in YouTube land are not convicted felons. Yes, I did say that out loud. Deal with it. And then last we have card number 5, a solution. This is a possible solution to address the underlying problem. Referenced by card number 3, which in this case is the Empress. And card number 5 is the Two of Cups, or rather the Two of Chalices, more commonly known as the Two of Cups. So this tells me that there is somebody with whom you have a very deep soul emotional connection that can help you overcome this challenge, this problem, this opportunity. And even though it is a Two of Cups card, meaning a minor arcana card, it's possible that you need to reconnect with somebody who is a spirit, a goddess, a god, an ascended master, an archangel, an angel. The focus is on the Three of Wands from the Angel Tarot. So perhaps there is an opportunity for you to call upon a celestial being, a spirit, if you will. That, and I'm using the term spirit like Judika Illes uses the term spirit in her Encyclopedia of Spirits. A deity, a celestial being, an archangel, an angel, a saint, what have you. So this celestial being, this is a prime opportunity to call upon them and say, listen, I know I haven't been in touch. I've been living my life. I've actually been happy and successful and prospering. But there's this situation that's come up again, and I really need to rectify it. And I really feel the need to complete it once and for all. And for those of you that have had readings with me, you know that I always pull a final message card, which is the bottom card of the rest of the deck, and that is the Ace of Cups. Very interesting, because remember, the Ace of Cups traditionally corresponds to the date, in the Northern Hemisphere anyway, of the summer solstice. And this year, I actually forgot the date, but it was last month. I want to say it was June 20th. I will include the date of the summer solstice in the description box. Or I could quickly look it up now, because I have my trusty Llewellyn's 2024 Daily Planetary Guide at the ready. So this year, the date of the summer solstice, or Litha, or midsummer, as we witches say, was Thursday, June 20th, 2024. I must tell you, a lot of magical happenings, like Sabbats and whatnot, have been happening on Thursdays this year. which has been very interesting for a lot of reasons. So I look at it this is about the energy of summer for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, but it's also coming up for me as that this situation will be completely completed, like it will be done and the period will be put on the end at the end of the sentence, because it's like, okay, this is done, this is complete, this is finished, this is caput, esto está completado, resolvado completamente. ¿Me entiende? ¿Entiendes? I went into Spanish because, you know, mi cubano, ya tú sabes. So yeah, so it's like, this tells me that this situation is not going to linger and drag on and be with you for the rest of your life. No. This will be completed by no later than the date of the autumnal equinox, which this year is on, where are you? Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. The autumnal equinox is also known as Mabon in some magical traditions. Of course, in the southern hemisphere, this is going to be the first day of spring, but for those of us in the northern hemisphere, it will be the first day of autumn. So between Thursday, June 20th, and Sunday, September 21st, no, I'm sorry, Sunday, September, I just had the date, Sunday, September 22nd, 2024, this situation will be completely completed. It is a pleasure to cast the cards in my videos, in my YouTube videos. I don't do it as often as I used to, but of course, as I've said before, you certainly don't need to rely on me to pull cards for you in my YouTube videos, because there are a bazillion people on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, probably on Facebook, that pull cards on the regular. So, you know, you don't need me to do that for you in my videos. But I enjoy doing it when it comes up. I will definitely include information about the Tarot of the Pagan Cats in the description box. I will include the spread and its positions, so that if you want to play along at home, you're more than welcome to do so. But as always, I want to thank all of you. Well, first of all, I want to thank Llewellyn Publications for publishing yet another tarot calendar. And yes, I did finally order my copy of Llewellyn's 2025 tarot calendar. I placed the order yesterday, in fact, and I should be receiving it within the next 2 weeks or less. Shipping is pretty fast when I order from Llewellyn Publications. It certainly does not drag out, I'll tell you that right now. So yes, and I will be doing a video about the new calendar after I receive it. And I will also, and of course I want to thank the Barbara Moore for writing the insights, spreads, and tips in these calendars. Although some of you already know that as of the 2025 calendar, somebody else is writing the insight, spreads, and tips. I know, right? Big news, big news. And of course, thank you to the people who made the Tarot of the Pagan Cats possible. And as always, thank you to all of you in YouTube land for honoring who I am and what I do, for all the likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And of course, an extra big and beautiful thank you to those of you who have already scheduled your sessions, including the individual who is having a phone reading with me next Monday, July 29th, 2024 at 5 p.m. It's a little bit late for her because normally her readings are during the day, but I'll still be awake at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, so it's fine with me. But yes, any questions, leave it in the comments. I hope all of you have a beautiful rest of the summer. Try to stay cool, remember to stay hydrated, and as always, stay in tune with your intuition, stay safe. I don't know about where you live, but COVID-19 cases have been going up in my country, in the United States, so you know the face masks are coming out again. I don't care how hot it is, and I don't care what people think, and if they look at me sideways, I'm like, You want to get COVID, go right ahead. I'm not getting COVID. Stay hydrated and stay tuned for the next video.